start to let this down slowly, and then I'll check underneath to see if it's separating. What's the pressure? I've just popped underneath to check. So the jack stand, so it is hitting the 2x6 just fine. That one over there as well. And as well, you can see it is starting to separate from the frame. So that's good. So we'll take her down a bit more and see what happens. So this is here, you can see I've already got 3/4 of an inch gap there on this side, a little wider on the other side. I've let it down another couple inches, and you can see here, there the gap's getting bigger. I'm not quite on level ground here, so it's going to be a little different. This one's a little wider. And then I go underneath and I just make sure it's not grabbing anywhere. Now I still have a couple inches for the tires to hit the ground. I may have to fool around with this a bit. I might have to jack it all up again and start again if I want the shell to clear the top of the tires, but we'll see. So again, look underneath here, and you can see the gap's getting wider. Doesn't seem to be hanging up, not at the back here anyway. Check out my jack stands, they seem okay. It's not too wobbly here right now, but I won't be getting underneath the trailer just with it on the jack stands like that. I have to wait till I get all this blocking set up again and put a long 12-footer under here to take up all the support, take up all the weight. So we'll let her down another couple inches. Again, the tires are still a few inches off the ground. The gap's getting wider. Same over here. So I think I'll continue on this end till I get it right down resting on, till everything's resting right on the wheels. Not quite hitting on this side. I'm on uneven ground, so I gotta be careful here. The wheels are on the ground, and the back has come away nicely. The blocking underneath, I checked underneath, it is holding where it should be. So now what I have to do is I have to take this blocking, set up out here a little ways. I've got some, I think they're 12-foot beams to go underneath. So I'll set up a pile of blocking here, pile of blocking on this side as well. Then I'll have to take this 12-foot 8x8 beam and put it underneath. Now I've got my 12-foot 8x8 here ready. I've set up some blocking on either side. I'm thinking I have it level with the bottom there right now, and then if I can get the 8 inches, that might give me enough. If not, I might be able to shim it up with 2x6s just to get that 8x8 underneath. Okay, I tried jacking up here, but the frame and everything's coming up too. I think it's binding at the front. So what I've done at the front, I'll do the same procedure as the back. I've just got these 8x8 timbers there, and those other smaller timbers just rest on the wood. They won't be hitting the metal frame. This over here, the jack is jacked up. Now what I'll do is I'll lower this down. That should drop the frame, and again these wooden blocks should support the wooden floor, and hopefully this will come down. I'll go and lower it down now, and we'll see what kind of creaking and groaning it does. Coming off here, so there's no pressure, so that's not doing what I wanted to do. I still think it's kind of binding here because the back is down so far, and there's half bolts in there. They're probably grabbing just a wee bit. So maybe I'll jack up the back a bit, the actual back frame, just to see if that takes some of that tension off. Starting to separate here now, so that's the problem. It was too much tension. Now again, this is coming off. I should jack up the back again a bit. You'll notice the wheels are coming off there now. Wheels are up off. Locking still okay underneath. I'll try lowering this again. Yeah, this is starting to separate here better. Okay, the frame's up again as high as it'll go. Okay, that's all I can get for now. So it has separated here. I'll just have to fart around with it, see what I can do. The way I have it now with just those two 4x6 blocks supporting the floor, it looks like the floor is getting caved in, so if I'm not careful I could go right to the floor and I might have to end up replacing it, because essentially the floor is just 3/4 inch plywood. I'm going to let the back down and we'll see what happens. Front of the fiberglass is catching right on here on this metal part. I think that's where it's binding. So we've got an inch gap here. See if I can get it to drop an inch. It's still catching here a bit. Okay, I'm going to try and raise the back again to get it up like that, to take some of the tension off of here. So there's still tension on here, frame's still like that. I'll lift it up at the back again and we'll see if it gives. Notice the wheels have gotten closer to the ground. There, it did come down. Again, I've got about an inch gap here. You can see here it's come down, so it's kind of on an angle here right now like that. So it's still catching on the corner there. Okay, I found the problem, or what I think is the problem. The blocking I've got under here is actually catching on the frame, so I'll jack it up a bit and snap that blocking over. Wobbly there. This big 8x8 as a lever to lever this up. That's enough. Okay, and let her down. Okay, I've got this 4x6 going right across now. Just resting on the edge on the lip here. It seems to be strong enough right now. I might block it up underneath after as well, but because there's a gap between the actual floor and the edge of this. But for now I'm going to leave it, and I'll lower the front here and we'll see what happens. Okay, I've got the additional blocking in place on this side and then over on this side. Now I've jacked this up as high as it goes. So under here with this blocking I have that is supporting the floorboards, I have to put additional blocking under there because I've raised it up a little higher. So I'll go do that now, and then we'll attempt to push this 8x8 right across. Now I've got the front jacked up as far as it'll go. You'll notice there's no separation here. So it's hitting the floorboards underneath. Here's the back of the trailer. So that front's jacked up so high that the back here is actually resting on the ground. So that's the limits, I can do that. So now I have to get underneath, put additional blocking to go on top of that other blocking just so it hits the floor. Then I'll lower the frame and it should give me enough separation. Here's that blocking underneath. So it was like, there's the floor. It was down a couple inches resting on there. Now I've raised it up, so now I have to put additional blocks up here so it actually touches the floor. Then I'll lower that front jack again, and then that should give me enough separation between the frame and the lip of the trailer to put that 8x8 under. Okay, that additional blocking's in place. So we'll lower this again. Okay, the frame here is starting to get a gap here. The frame there is pretty much loose. You can see how easy it moves, so it's pretty much freewheeling. Now hopefully I can get this down as far as I want it without it hitting this other blocking here. Should be okay. Don't stick your head underneath. Now the furthest I can go, it's going to hit that big 8x8 up there, so hopefully that'll give me enough room. Okay, so all this blocking here is holding the trailer up via the plywood floor, not the metal frame. Okay, the back has just got that 4x6 all the way across. Now, I might not have the height I need. Okay, the way I have this blocking set up, it's interfering. The frame is hitting it, so I'm going to have to rig up something different under there so it will clear so the frame can drop right down. Okay, that method wasn't working for me because I can't get that 8x8 under here. There's not enough clearance. So I'll just try something different with the jackal. Just place it under the fiberglass lip. Just take it up a bit at a time. I don't want the whole thing to tip over either. There, I can get that under there. That works. Oh, clear right there. Whoops. Yeah, I knocked out that blocking, so it's just that jackal over there that's holding everything. Okay, let's let that down and see what happens. So that whole 8x8. So the 8x8 going across, supported on each side by the blocking. grade, and the 8x8 holding everything. Frame is free, and it's all supported just by the two beams. The 8x8 going across the front, and the 4x6 back here. Now the next problem we're going to have, this wheel looks like it'll clear here on this side, just till I get up to that 8x8. Same thing on the other side, I think. I might have to take these off and just drag it on the hubs. Okay, I did notice, you could probably see it, the 4x6 there has slid off the back. So I got to keep an eye on that. I got to move that back in, or the whole ass end's going to fall down. This beam at the back's got a bit of a bow in it, so it's contacting the frame as well as here. So when I pull the frame out, it's actually moving. Same thing on the other side. So I'm going to let some air out of the tires, and just to get it down a little lower. Don't know if you can see here, the light's getting pretty bad. This is what it looks like underneath right now. So there's the one block, just resting on the lip here, the fiberglass lip, going across. So there's separation all the way around. I'm just going to have to make sure tonight that it is rock solid. To help that beam clear that metal frame, you can see the gap there now, so it's not resting on there. I just added some extra blocking on here. Actually, I just took this one. Instead of it being down like that, I just flipped it up this way, jacked this up, tucked it under, so that should clear now. This tire is hitting here, so I just have to, I should have kept the trailer straight. It is on a bit of an angle. I'm going to go check and see if anything's catching. For the most part, you just have to ensure that you're pulling it straight out. The bumper was hitting some of the blocking, that kind of thing. Okay, that's probably as far as I can go right now. You can see the tires won't clear the 8x8 block. So probably what I'll do is just take my actual wheels right off and then just drag it out the last couple feet. I just continually go check underneath, make sure nothing's grabbing or catching. There, that's that little post sticking up I talked about. It was catching on the beam. And just have a look around. Things are separating nicely. So again, I think I'll try popping those wheels off and see if I can drag it that last couple feet. As you can see, I have underslung axles, so the hub and the drum there, they won't even touch the ground. It'll be the hardware that hits the ground. I'll just put some plywood under there to make it easier to drag. Digging into the gravel, so I just jacked it up a bit again, put new boards under. I'll just wiggle it out the rest. Put my 13-inch tires back on just so I can pull it out a little further. There we go. This will give you a better idea of the layout of that gas pipe. There it is there, I'll be able to take that right out. So just this side, over, running along, jogging back, and then out to the front. So now I'll just have to go over the frame, check it out, check the welds out, maybe sandblast it, and then repaint it. And the shell, you can now see it's just supported by that 8x8 on the front. Actually, I can see there's a bit of a gap there. I'm going to have to shim that up on that side. And the 8x8 should be strong enough. I'm a little concerned with this 4x6 or 4x8, whatever it is here. So I'm going to put some, screw some supports in here, right down to touch the ground. I just don't want this snap. If this snaps, all of a sudden the whole thing will drop down, and then I'll have a lot of fiberglass work to do. And this should allow me, once it's blocked up good and secure, it'll allow me easy access underneath. I'll clean out the floor, check it out for holes, and maybe coat it with some kind of undercoating. Okay, that's it for now.